Here we go for another special rock and roll marching dance on earth. We're gonna go towards the sun because the sun is shining and gotta commence begin as always. Got the backpack on. Gotta commence begin with gratitude, grateful, thankful, my rent paid, that official bills paid, got food and coffee, and my anonymous friend got a turkey for the holidays for $10.44 Canadian, $10.44 Canadian, $10.44 Canadian. So I gotta put something on the table as well, you know. XYZ, maybe put some labor, cook, and I got some beef patties I can put, and I think my proposal would be to put on the table. I got 3 packs of cookies. Well, I have to bake them. So basically, the cookie ingredients, but I have to put them to boil to cook them, to bake them, basically, you know. Anyways, grateful, thankful, got my rent paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee here from my neighborhood. Gonna put on the gloves because although it's sunny on the sunny side, got that minus here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I gotta watch it not to slip on the ice. It is 19th of December and special edition, 13th day of the 44th day, right? 13th day of the 44th day, right? 13th day of the 44th day, right? Special edition, gonna go. Turn my head left and right before I cross the street. Left and right before I cross the street. Left and right before I cross the street, and we're gonna go all the way towards the sun. In the sun, I used to do laundry right there. I used to do laundry right there. I used to do laundry right there. I used to do laundry right there for many years. I used to do laundry. I gotta give a shout out, salutation to my anonymous friend who wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any. Wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any. Wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any. Who got the washer and the dryer, and I'm using it, you know. So gotta give some salutation, some respect. Always saluting LOV to the farmers, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, you know, the electricians and the plumbers. I always gotta meditate about all the labor done now across the North American Collective, and it is especially if I would have had $44.9 billion. If I would have had $44.9 billion, $44.9 billion, November 6th, when Trump officially got elected. Well, the decision or the counting of the votes was in on November 6th, because the vote was the 6th, but only on the 6th of November this year, 2024. Today is 19th of December, 6 days before Christmas, 6 days before Christmas. The holiday is Xmas, 6 days. So if I would have had $44.9 billion, that's a special edition, and gotta give a shout out again to the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the grocery store clerks, and all involved in the production and distribution of food. Gotta give a LOV to the firefighters of North America, LOV to the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the grocery store clerks. From this independent asp, you have that Asperger's, aka note HFA, high functioning autism, and I always meditate now that I work out, train, exercise, and I love going on marching, dancing, imitating choreography, because dancing is my favorite fitness and sports activity. Dancing is my favorite sports, and dancing is my favorite fitness activity. And yours truly, 24/7 geopolitics. I predicted the current situation back in 2019, and it's a special edition. Day 13th day of the 44th day, right? Till Donald Trump going to be inaugurated, so that leaves 31 days, I guess, in a few hours. And here I am until the 20th of January challenging Donald Trump. I've been challenging Donald Trump for more than 6 years now. It's going to be close to 7 in next spring, but since 2018, when Donald Trump imposed tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel, and have been calling for the building of an aluminum and steel, because initially in 2018 Donald Trump and the administration imposed tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel and of 10%, and now there's a threat of 25%, and as Auntie Freeland said, we got to take it seriously on that go, and we got to take it on that seriousness. So, you know, this Quebecer Canadian, you know, Team Canada, but also binational Team North America, and you know, we can join together like the European Union in a public-private partnership, the Democratic Republican Party and the North American Collective Workers Party. Gotta give a shout out to the welders, to the welders, and although to the butchers, bakers, nurses, and this Quebecer Canadian was born in the USA 3 times. Twice was born as a man, once as a woman, and those 2 times as a man. Post 76, my reincarnations now. Right here, North American Canadian Quebecers. I was born in the USA and served twice in the same army, US Army. 156 years apart, different wars, quite different decades and centuries, but 2 different wars in the same army, you know. You got to read that George Patton's To a Glass Darkly. And of course, I always do meditated dialogues about the defense of the North American, because of course I'm a North American philosopher, artist, athlete, geopolitical, theoretical, analyst, and theorist. And here we can say that Canada is north, north, as we say, the true north, strong and free. And down south is going to my brothers and sisters in the USA, and I have my propositions and ideas in a centrist, revolutionary centrist manner. And if today's the edition, please give to charity Wall Street billionaires, millionaires. Come on, it's holiday season, a color the heart from this. My only stress now is financial. Besides financial stress, Besides financial stress, gratitude. Gratitude is great for mental health, For mental health, and I encourage all to work out, train, exercise, and fitness. I've been embarked on a fitness journey ever since 2017, when I crossed Canada coast to coast. That's when I crossed Canada in September and August and September. I crossed Canada coast to coast, and that event made me come to a great revelation, because I started saying so many things to do, to see, here, and I started working out, training, exercising, and I did lots of work, independent, philosophical work. And of course, as somebody with Asperger's, HFA, we have special interests, and those special interests were very super focused, super concentrated when we were involved in those, such as you see my marches. I always march, dance, and it's part of my fitness. Fitness is marching like I march, is part of fitness, is a fitness march, fitness event, as it is now with rock and roll. And I'm also obsessed about, well, I don't call it obsessions, because obsession would be somebody that's not an aspie like myself who would use obsessions, but it's more special interests. But those interests were very super focused when we're involved in those interests. And since red is my favorite color, I got a LOV, that red door. And please, construction workers, let's build together public-private partnership on the Canadian-US border, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum for sports. And please, NFL National Football League, NHL National Hockey League, NBA, please give. MLB as well, for sports leagues, please give. And reduce the ticket cost by 44.9%. Reduce the ticket cost by 44.9%. Reduce the ticket costs by 44.9%. That is my call of the heart, from this financially struggling. And if I ever make some money, I will be, my first expense will be to get the Professional Women's Hockey League, the victory jersey from the Professional Women's Hockey League, the victory jersey from the Professional Women's Hockey League, which I gotta say make less money, but millionaires, billionaires give some charity. And since it's a special event where I fantasize that I would have been a billionaire on the 6th of November 2024, I would have taken 10%. 10% of 44.9 billion would have equivalated for 44.4 billion. 10% of 44, it's 4.4. Of 44, 10% is 4.4. 10% of 44 is 4.4. So I would have given 4.4 billion across North America to random vets, men, women, black, white, whatever the case may be, to North Americans in need, homeless. I would have given 50,000. I would have started on the 6th of November, right after the official news was that Donald Trump was going to be the president in 2025, starting January 20th. I would have taken that 10% of 44.9 billion, almost 45 billion, and I would have given, of course, to charity, to homeless, 50,000. I would have whispered, this is my redemption, this is your second chance. This is my redemption, this is your second chance. This is my redemption, this is your second chance. I don't know what your life is, how you ended up in this situation, and I gotta say that myself, I almost did, and in many years I was kind of with one foot in the streets, one foot in the libraries, one foot in the streets, one foot in the libraries, one foot in the streets, one foot in the libraries. And I just remember moving from a moldy place, on the ground, sick and diseased and depressed, suicidal. In 2017, when I crossed Canada coast to coast, that made me establish a strong esprit de corps, and Canadians, I consider you my family, Quebecers as well. And down south, that's south, that is south now, where you see the border, the USA is down there. We need to get implemented the new 911 protocols for security, service, and defense, the Dragon Army. It's fundamentally a call for an initiative for a public-private partnership, because the North American Collective for security, service, and defense. And my proposition on the table is to have finance via public-private partnership based the Great North American Census, the Great North American Census, the Great North American Collective Census, Canada, USA, and possibly Mexico, because Mexico is part of North America, but in the binational strength friends here, binational Canada, US, we're 40 plus million, 10 million Quebecers who love our French language, no problem, switch it to that French, and is the great linguistic compromise which we just made, and we made great compromises, you know, and myself, I've suffered, struggled, been scarred, got plenty of scars on my body, have trauma survived, and here I am marching towards the King, my Pope, the Sun. I'm fantasizing that if I would have had 44 bin, I would have went across North America, Montreal to San Francisco, roundabout like in a big X, back forth, northeast, west, south, Vancouver also, and I would have given to individuals 50,000, because with 50,000, I would have said, clean yourself, whatever the case may be, if you have addictions, whatever the case may be, whatever, this is your second chance, I would have said, and this is my redemption. I would have done that. I would have went hoodie on, dirty hoodie on, just hoodie on, incognito, myself dressed, you know, incognito, and like my anonymous friend who wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any, said, well, I look like a bum, you know. But all the clothes, like yesterday's great blue jacket, which I got, was really nice, and secondhand, but it's nice. It looks like new secondhand, but I bought all my secondhand, and I'm auctioning everything that you're wearing. Everything that I'm wearing, I'm auctioning. Everything that I'm wearing, I'm auctioning. Everything that I'm wearing, I'm auctioning. Everything that I'm wearing, I'm auctioning here, you know. So now that I'm here, I gotta give a shout out to the railway workers, 20th century workers of the Collective North American Complex, and the workers now, the railroads, railway conductors, truckers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, those in the daycares, changing some diapers, those in the daycares, changing some diapers, you know, I gotta be thinking about them, immersed in the consciousness, you know, as a philosopher. I always think, since my thesis as the people's doctor was the privilege of civilization. That was my thesis back in 2023 February, this privilege of civilization, and I gotta give a shout out to Hydro-Quebec, because that's why I got this electricity to do the workout, training and film it, part of my work, because I think YouTube channel started about 6 years ago, and I gotta give a shout out to the construction workers, because I will to build the Forgotten Goddess Temple. Let's build it on the Canadian-US border, the Forgotten Goddess GODDSS, and I laid a foundation with trillions of kisses for the building of the Forgotten Goddess Temple. The building of the Forgotten Goddess Temple, parallel to the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, and see the beautiful red. It's just beautiful red. Wow, and stay red like that even during the winter. It's just like the evergreen. So we got that green and red for the Forgotten Goddess, the DGA, Dancing Goddess Army, which I will to establish, aka the North American Integrated Dance League with the Dragon Army, the North American Citizen Security and Service Force for the 21st century. As a public-private partnership base, we got to come to an entente in the 21st century, and we got to rebuild the infrastructure, rebuild the North American communities, and you know, the ghettos, you know, those more unfavorable neighborhoods. We need to mass invest in the 21st century in our infrastructure, and we're gonna play that defense like that horrible ball, and that's where we're gonna end it with that. And I gotta say that 44 billion, if I would have had, I would have donated 10%. You know, if I would have been a billionaire, I would have gotten 10%, and I would have donated to different individuals across the North American Collective. Just, this is your second chance. And I would have said you can rent a room, rent a hotel motel, or whatever the case may be, or even rent an apartment for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and start working out, training, exercising. That's my advice. I would have written a letter. I would have put a letters in it, while donating the check of the 50,000, because cash would be, there'll be some dangers, but I would definitely donate or bring it to the bank, whatever the case may be. There are lots of different individuals, Myself, down dirty with a hoodie on, I would have went and distributed. I said, this is your second chance, this is my redemption. As a billionaire of North America, of the North American Complex, that's what I would have done. Right on the 6th of November. But you know, I got trillions of kisses, and although financially stressed, I'm not totally selfless. I like my bacon, like massages. I cannot afford it. Let's start public massage sessions every Sunday, public for the public workers in the DGA Dancing Goddess Army for rehabilitation, you know, for the rehabilitation of the collective, you know. Gotta start that XYZ, and we gotta get doing with that, and that's what we're gonna get doing for the doers and the thinkers and the truckers. Always gotta meditate about all the truckers now, what they're carrying, and see how my mind works because of Asperger's. My special interest, also known as obsessive interest, is geopolitics. Geopolitics 24/7 analysis thereof. But now, of course, I interject and I put the geopolitical equation in this highway here, and how, of course, the truckers are going east and west, and that's north-south. So that is south-south-south. That is east-east-east. That's north-north-north. And towards the sun is the west. Towards the sun is the west, because it's like 3 o'clock. Almost 3 o'clock, maybe in a minute. So how my mind works is I direct my psychic mental abilities now to meditating in the geopolitical terms as a Quebecer, Canadian, North American. And of course how, because of what the recent years, the more than 45 months have shown the realities of our geopolitical situation to be, of course, that there's a potential for sabotage of our supply chains, our infrastructure, and of course our power grids, electricity grids. Be careful and patient on the roads. So now my meditation goes, see that truck there, big truck, is going east. Maybe it's going to start going south, maybe it's going to the US. And all the traffic, Canada, US, Mexico, I gotta see that is similar across the highways to this. It's similar to this. It's similar to this. Across the highway is very similar. They're going towards the sun. They're going west, west, west. I'm always meditating. What are they carrying? Main goods, supply chains, main groceries. What are they carrying? I'm always meditating on what are they carrying there. You know, what is it that they're carrying inside? Where are they going? How are they feeling? Gotta send some love to the truckers. It ain't all about the money, Wall Street, then you know it, god dang it. Gotta kisses and no hugs, gotta kisses not so selfish, hey. Gotta get the North American Workers Collective Party, we gotta get the North American Workers Collective Party, we gotta get the North American Collective Workers Party, the Democratic Republican Party of North America. North Americans unite, the North American Democratic Republic. The North American Democratic Republic. The king is absent, my fellow Canadians. The king is absent. The king is absent. It's 40 million Canadians that are my family. Pledge your allegiance, legions. Pledge your allegiance, legions. Pledge your allegiance, legions. That our family. The king is absent. It's the 21st century. It's Canadian Confederation. We got to get that federation. We can unite like the European Union. At least in North America. We speak English, French here in Quebec. Made a great linguistic compromise. We continue to do so. Make an effort for some French. Listen to Celine Dion. Listen to some of my songs. Make an effort. And in the past plus 7 years, I learned some Spanish. In the past more than 7 years, I learned some Spanish. I did learn some Spanish in the past 7 years, so I can manage a little bit of Spanish with Canada, North America, Mexico included. My dream, if I would have had 44 billion that's today, I would have went and distributed. I imagine it. I would have went in hoodie on, incognito, you know, down dirty with a hoodie on, and listen, you know, would have gave men, women, black, white, would have given a second chance. I would have uttered, listen, I'm not perfect, far from it, not perfect, far from it, not perfect, far from it. We're gonna would have gotten, you know, to give 50,000. I would have went down dirty, I would have given 50,000. You know, with all the imperfections that I have, I would have said, this is my second chance. This is your redemption, because money is to buy, sell. You know, as I see those truckers going west, 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 you can see that it's similar. You see 11 trucks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, past 3 o'clock. It's past 3 o'clock now, and meditating on the prices of gas, prices of living, prices have been increasing. Please, millionaires, billionaires, call it a heart. You got 6 more days. You get 6 more days. It's the 19th. It's a late call Thursday. took my compost out. Got to give a salutation to those who are going to pick the compost. It's one job that I had. I've had many jobs, employments, especially that one that I worked on the compost to bring it in my neighborhood. But my neighborhood, it's 100,000 people, so it's my NDG borough in Montreal. Hawk Island is 2.5 million people on the island of Montreal. We're surrounded by a big river, which you're gonna see soon, maybe in 44, almost 45 minutes from now. More than 44 minutes, more than 44 minutes, more than 44 minutes. So as you see the sky, we gotta meditate everything that we have, civilizational complex, and my brothers and sisters in the USA, rock and roll for you all always. I was born in the USA, past previous incarnations, and I'm not perfect. I got flaws, I got vices, you know. I play black, white, and rainbow, part of the LGBTQ community. You get that 50-50. I am androgynous pansexual. I've been open for years and years and years. That's just what I am, you know. And androgyny, pansexual, and consent and hygiene is all that's required. Sexual liberation, sexual healing is something which I'm going to discuss, addressing coming in the new year, you know, because it's been on my journey. And you know, I lost a lot of friends in the past years. I've made a lot of friends at the paradoxically at the pride parades in Montreal over the past 7 years, at the pride parades in Montreal, at the pride parades. But after a few calls, a few meetings, you know, kind of lost a lot of them, if not most, due to Asperger's, you know, because for years and years and years I've been diagnosed, but I refused it. I said, I don't have Asperger's, I'm not HFA, I'm not autistic. It's a form of autism, high functioning autism, Asperger's. It's not a mental illness, it's a neurodivergence. So only in the past like 45 months, in the past 44 months during COVID, which I survived. COVID for me was like death, pestilence, and disease. When I had COVID, it was like death, pestilence, and disease. When I had COVID, it was like death, pestilence, and disease. And I survived. I died right there in 2020, February, March. 2020, February, March. And gotta give me some of that logistics, see? 2 flags, Canada, USA, Canada together. But you know, I would have voted Kamala, I would have voted Joe Biden, my Scorpio. Joe Biden, Scorpio, is still president. But you know, nothing personal against Trump. Just believe Donald Trump to fight me on a boxing match on the Canadian-US border, and I'm still challenging, as I have since 2018. That's when I really got involved in politics, because I was just coming out of being depressed, being suicidal, and after crossing Canada coast to coast, that made me, of course, realize how many things we have here, how many things I have, and how many things we have in common, you know. And I gotta be grateful, thankful. I got sweets, I got food when I get back. I got some sweets, I got food when I get back, so that's always something I gotta meditate and be grateful for. You know, I got a bottle of soda, club soda. I got a beer, donated a small beer, made in Canada, union made. We gotta get that Global Dragon Union, the North American Collective Workers Party. And you know, the system is not. We have to secure the individual liberty, the individual. It has to be a rebalance in the 21st century, brothers and sisters. Ain't no way. So if I would have had millions, billions now, that would have not been charitable for whoever, you know, whoever it is in need to get second chances, redemption. It's not all about money. Freedom. Money is to buy, sell. You know, money is to buy, sell. I don't want people to have illusions about myself. I lust, you know. For men, for women, I am pansexual, gay, bisexual, gay, and I've been in the open for 7 years now. It's nothing that I hide or something like that. No need to spy on me. Secret services of China, secret services of Russia, secret services of Stasi. Stasi are gone after 1989. They were Securitate actually was in another country of the Eastern Socialist Soviet Communist bloc. But Stasis were in East Germany. East Germany was communist, socialist, authoritarian, socialist, communist, ideological state. East Germany, until they got reunited, I believe in November 9, 1989. Follow the Berlin Wall. So that's the fall of the Canadian-US border. Let's get the fall of the Canadian-US border. Let's get the fall of the Canadian-US border. Let's create the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit. Let's integrate our security and service forces with the citizenry based on my protocols, initiatives which I've written in my several communications and several, as a citizen with some security concerns in the past, with CSIS, Canadian Secret Intelligence Service, Canadian Secret Intelligence Service, Canadian Secret Intelligence Service, CSIS, and, you know, we gotta secure liberty and give people second chances. You know, I see all these trucks here, all these trucks out of imagine 40. I counted 44. There could be more, but I just counted here. There could be more. I just imagine them load them up, and go across Quebec, Canada, United States, and just fill them up with goods. And in the neighborhoods, to the children and families, just donate some turkeys, some bacon, some milk, some eggnog, some of that eggnog, and some eggs, you know. Because the prices have increased and a lot since 2020, a lot. So now going back, this is what I would have done with 44 billion if I would have had November 6, 2024. I would have taken 10% and go just give cash, checks. It would have been my redemption, personal redemption, I guess, because if you're a millionaire, billionaire, well, the workers enable much of that wealth creation. The workers enable much of that work creation. The workers enable much of that wealth creation. And my work as an independent YouTuber, as somebody who has created their own workout training program system back in 2019, paradoxically to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario. Paradoxically to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario. You heard that right? Paradoxically to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario. Gotta send some LOV to the bus drivers and public bus drivers, you know. Always meditate. We got some good hybrid here, and even some good electric ones. And I gotta give a shout out because here in Quebec, Hydro-Quebec is electricity which does not pollute. Hey, it comes from hydro, and our electricity also goes to 5 or 6 states in the United States. Also 6 states all the way to Manhattan Island, a fifth of the island of Manhattan, New York City. That's 20%, a fifth. Gets the electricity from Hydro-Quebec. So now this, as my auntie Freeland calls it, this new threat by Trump to impose a 25% tariff. It's what she wisely, Auntie Christian Freeland. And sometimes I disagree with Uncle Legault. Sometimes I disagree with Cousin Trudeau. But I consider you my family. Sometimes we argue. But at the end of the day, if there's an invasion by any foreign forces from the east or from the west, from the Atlantic, from the Pacific, I'll join. I'll go in, and I'm proposing the creation of the Dragon Army, North American Citizen Integrated Social Security and Service and Defense Force, only for defense like that hardball ball, aka blackout ball. When my 49ers lost, like that hardball ball, aka blackout ball. When my 49ers lost, like that hardball ball, aka blackout ball, like my 49ers lost, you know, like the where my 49ers lost. We're gonna play that defense. Kind of defense won, I guess, but it was a close game, but I could say defense won. And you know, at the end of the game, sportsmanship, you still stay getting brutal, giving it on the field, and you still hug the quarterback and the linebacker, the quarterback and the linebacker, the quarterback and the linebacker, you know. The defense and the offense, they still hug and say, good game, love you. But love some action, you know. But we cannot base everything on strength. We cannot base everything on strength. I understand the concept peace through strength. Totally, because I'm an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist. That's my special interest, and I predicted in 2019, October, November, I got proof. I have proof of work, because I did it. I have proof of work because I did it. Back in 2019, I created a workout training program, and I predicted an international conflagration. In a general manner, my conclusion was that humanity is set back in 2019. I concluded that humanity is set again towards the course is the direction of the world's situation is it's setting again towards an international conflagration. That was my conclusion. So back then, that was my conclusion, and based on several deep analysis, because that's what I do on the daily, geopolitics, sports fitness, dancing is my favorite sport and fitness activity, and rock and roll. That's those three activities preoccupy my whole day routine, ritual routine, to the point what some call obsessive. But we Aspies, or myself as an individual with Asperger's, HFA, high functioning autism, do not refer in such a way to it. I refer a special interest, where yes, I can be super focused, super concentrated, and back in 2019 I predicted it in a general manner, not every detail, but I predicted it. And to make a summary again, is that due to the fact that I said humanity, many countries, nation states, regions, geographical regions, nation states, civilizations have not fully resolved their conflicts, their tensions and their conflicts from the 20th century. And these conflicts from the 20th century are going to reemerge and reappear in the 21st century. That's what's happening in Russia and Ukraine. It dates from the Cold War period, which lasted almost 45 years, officially 44 years and 9 months, officially 44 years and 9 months, officially 44 years and 9 months. The Cold War, East and West, whatever you want to terminology used to it. The Cold War lasted a long time. Cold War, right? Dominated by the USA, post-Second World War, from 1947 to 1991. From 1947 till 1991. From 1947 to 1991. So it lasted a long time. Almost 45 years, the Cold War. Almost 45 years. That's half the 20th century. It's a long time. It's 45 years, almost 45 years. March 1947 till December 1991. So almost 45, not close to 45. Close to 45. By a few weeks or so. Close to 45. By a few weeks or so, close to 45. So that's a conflict from the 20th century, which has reemerged now in the 21st century, right? Israel, Palestine, Israel, the Middle East, Israel, Hamas, Israel, the Arab world. Although there has been lots of progress in the 21st century, that conflict from the 20th century has reemerged in many ways, right? And potentially China and Taiwan being an island, known officially as the ROC, Republic of China, the mainland China, the 1.4 billion, correction, 1.4 billion populated, known as the People's Republic of China, So their conflict dates again to the 20th century. Here in the North American Collective, we made what I call the Great Linguistic Compromise. And it's a beautiful one. To have continuity of peace by the maintenance of French language, which is my language as well. I'm a Quebecer. I'll rock and roll in French. I consider Quebecers my family, as sometimes, there's misunderstandings because we're pretty comical and humorous and a bit weird, like my Asperger's. I'm defined as weird, but we here in Quebec have great things to offer. Geography, lakes, great cheese, great wine, great cuisine, great culture, great rock and roll, the dams. It's not just Armand Bombardier and Céline. It's not just Armand Bombardier and Céline. It's not, although we love both. We love Céline and Armand Bombardier, but there's richness here in Quebec, So we made a great linguistic compromise. 10 million Quebecers. 10 million, right? It's like a state in the US. And of course, I disagree with Trump. I have my vision for the North American Union, yes, and propositions which are mostly private PPP, public-private partnership, and the new 911 integrated protocols, because it's 911, referring not to 9/11 per se, but to my new initiatives for North American Collective integrated defense with the citizen integration theory. So one of my theories, the CIT, part of the CIT, citizen integration theory, the DFT, democratic fusion theory, and the debt refusion theory, the DRT. That's my trinity of theories, which is part of my dream, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, which is fundamentally a binational affair as well, a binational. Canada, US, Canada, US. We got each other. We got a common destiny. Together. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean, defense only. Coast to coast, defense only. We got to do the great North American census. The great North American census. The great North American census. Have a common currency, standardize certain prices of goods, create the universal exchange unit via my DRT theory, which I'm going to discuss once we move a little bit further from the noise of the cars, because that might impede the full communication thereof that I might utter in my new phone. Thank you, anonymous sister, who I'm going to propose. Deadline to propose is, I guess, will be maybe February 11, 2025, February, not even before, it's Christmas, 25th of December deadline, or inauguration of Trump. I've already missed so many deadlines, and Aspie's time management were a bit on the awkward side, but, missed a lot of deadlines, but survived COVID. Here I am, going on the march, encouraging you all to work out, train, exercise, doing for my YouTube channel, and somebody making LOV today, hug like you never hugged before with consent, hug like you never hugged before is the main message with consent, hug like you never hugged before is the main message with consent, hug like you never hugged before is the main message with consent, hug like you never hugged before is the main message with consent, hug like you never hugged before is the main message with consent, hug like you never hugged before is the main message, Don't start hugging people in the streets. That's not what I said, That's not what I said. You can read the transcript if there's any misunderstandings, and I don't mean to offend. Sometimes Aspies, people with Asperger's, we can be direct and seem abrasive. And thank you to my anonymous friend again, who gifted me a great book furthering my understanding of my own neurodivergence, which I've accepted about more than 45 months ago, 3.5 years plus. It's called Appreciating Asperger's Syndrome. So yes, I have obsessive interests, but I call them special interests, So that's what we do, and that's how we get going with that, and that's what I always meditate. I gotta give a shout out now, rock and roll, for those who pick up the garbage on North American public sanitation. Gotta be patient here, gotta watch the move for my security, gotta turn back, see. And I gotta give a shout out. They're also athletes. Please, NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. Please give them some charity. Look at that big truck. Give them some charity. Give them some charity. Thank you for picking up the garbage. Now I just turned to geopolitics, and I imagined, of course, how we would utilize, in case of an invasion, those big trucks mounted with some weaponry on it, in terms of to defend in case of an invasion, That's how my geopolitical mind works, Mind works in such a way, because geopolitics is my obsessive interest, but only for defensive purposes. So since we made potential enemies, Quebec, Canada, North America, due to our involvement in military by supplying weaponry and arms to different countries, we made potential enemies. So that's just how my mind directs when I see in terms of defensive and military strategy. And of course I created my own military strategy, which in the past I've been working on it, I guess, in 7 years, and it's always work in geopolitics. War is one of the principiums. And so of course military wise, I created the TD, total defense mobile total mobile defense theory. TM, total mobile, TMD theory. The total mobile defense theory, which I'm calling to be implemented as part of Operation Northern Scorpio. Northern Scorpio is a scorpio species which comes from Mexico. You find it in Mexico, Canada, US, and is the only scorpion. The actual Scorpio, who comes of course in Canada. That's the only species. And again, gotta salute the public workers. Please give them some tickets. NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. Please give them some tickets. And I gotta send some love to the public sanitation workers. Give them some free tickets. And let's build the North American People's Imperial Coliseum. Let's build the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, where they, public workers, because it takes a public-private partnership, that we're the public workers, we're the public workers, we're the public workers, we're the public workers, where the public workers are also given free tickets, free some free for the support in their work, from the support in their work, you know. For the support in their work. For their support in their work. So I gotta be patient, I guess, here when I gotta cross now. Thank you for letting me pass. For letting me pass, you know. And a smile, this nice smile. And here I can pass now because it's red there. So they only come from one way. So I gotta pass it safely. And again, I love this bridge. There's something I love about the bridge here. There's just something aesthetically, or the structure how it is, just I got some extra love for this bridge. Maybe the metal, maybe how it is a bit on the, maybe it's an Aspie was the one who designed it, probably maybe had Asperger's like myself and has suffered and struggled in it, and he put just like my own sufferings and strugglings and trauma because of years of XYZ, but struggle and being rejected. But the only yes I need is on the 24th evening, early 25th of December, when we celebrate Xmas, the yes from my anonymous friend for proposal of marriage. And I'm gonna propose till I get a yes. I'm gonna propose special BDSM switch open marriage, because I am pansexual androgynous, and you know, maybe cuckold, I wouldn't mind cuckold. Maybe I'll be happy with cuckold, you know, why not? I mean, sure, why not? XYZ. General cuckold. Let's go. And I don't know, that just gives me the impression of that, you know, general, the impression of that. That's the impression I got. That's the impression I got. That's the impression I received from that. It was a design made by a fellow Aspie who has HFA, high functioning autism, and maybe that's what I see in it. But I guess subconsciously and psychologically, of course, psychology, I know a little bit about it. My main field is geopolitics. So I'm now going to discuss more about the subconscious, but it is possible, you know, like we have, myself included, perhaps, you know, we have as individuals some racism, but I'm willing to work on it with kisses, tickles, and sports, and hugging and kissing my black brothers and sisters, and all who are North American, who are neurodivergent, of course, and all who are different from us, you know, And my brothers and sisters, blacks constitute 13.4% of the population of Quebec, Canada, North America, right? So it's 44 plus million, plus 44 plus million North Americans who are blacks, my neighbors included, you know. So, but sometimes we have racism within ourselves, you know, and sometimes we're not even aware. We're not even aware of it, you know. We're not even aware. It's subconscious. And you know, we tend to make associations. We might have had an experience with a certain individual who is a certain XYZ religion or whatever background, ethnic, national, racial, and I believe in the North American collective, the human race. But you know, there still is in the 21st century these things which we're moving forward as a people, as a nation. Here, maybe a free race, but free and strong, like true north, strong and free motto of Canada, you know, that Latin admire and mask admire, the Latin admire and mask admire, the Latin admire and mask admire. It also has to be added some love, because just strength and freedom, we cannot base everything on peace through strength, like I said, and I understand the ideology, peace through strength, more universal revolutionary centrist, peace through strength, yes, but also with some love, man. I mean, not all fight. Gotta get some LOV. You know, it has to be a counterbalance. It has to be. There's no way. We cannot base everything on just strength, you know. Now doing an assessment of the infrastructures I've done in the past year, going towards the sun, my Publik, meditating and thinking about you know, all the infrastructure of the collective North American civilizational complex, and myself and you and all the truckers, the butchers, those truckers are going north. That's the border, that's south, United States border, south, and you know, it's time to unite, create complementary public-private institutions. My call for the Dragon Army, North American Citizen Integrate Security and Service and DDD Defense Force, only DDD Defense Force for the Canadian Republic, the Canadian Defense Forces, Canadian Republican Defense Forces, the North American Democratic Republican Forces for defense, the North American Democratic Republic Defense and Security and Service Forces, you know. We got to get it on the go, and they're going north and south, and you see the assessment here that this probably, like I said last time, probably built before January 1980, so it's probably more than 44 years old, 44 years. I would say before 1980, I would say before 1955, maybe 1950, and 1980 that this was built. Maybe there were some touch-ups in the decades, but see, it's has on that danger sign on it. And much of our infrastructure of bridges and highways, there need to be dire repairs. You see from it, you know, there needs to be a lot of repair. You can see it yourself here. You know, there needs to be a lot of repairs here. Just doing an assessment, you know, and I got to give a salutation while thinking about this, that all the workers and the public workers of the 20th century, public workers of the 20th century who build the highways, the aqueducts, just to have running water and supply, you know, the wastewater. Civilization is a privilege. Civilization is a privilege, you know. I can do better, you can do better, blah, blah. It's not all about me, it's not all about us. Sometimes, as peace, we have a more abrasive directness and weird way of communicating certain things, which we don't really mean to offend. We don't mean to offend, but we're less able. I'm less able myself in certain social settings, and less able. But I've been working over the past 45 months, and thanks to my anonymous friend, I finally accepted I'm neurodivergent, being neurodivergent, and all the bridges which were built across North America, you know, all the bridges which were built across North America, all the highways, the trains, all the trains, you know, brains and muscle. Imagine all the work, labor in the 20th century just to build a hydroelectric dam. Civilization really is a privilege. You know. So meditate as the sun is shining now on my face. I'm gonna prepare to discuss the DRT theory, because you can look at the bridge and meditate. I would say it's built before 1980. I would say before 1980. So I would say more than 44 years for sure. Could be even 60 years. But much of the infrastructure like this, because there's common standards and companies from the 20th to now 21st century, which of course have built standardized standards of public North American public works. Canada, US is very, 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 very similar, you know. The National Hockey League, the NBA, National Basketball Association, they're not national. They're binational. My belt fell a bit, so I'm just gonna tie my belt a bit, because when it got there down, I got it a bit on the go. So auctioning the belt, $1 million, auctioning the shoes, auctioning everything that I'm wearing, each item for $1 million each. The socks, the shoes, the jacket, the hat, the gloves, one red and one black, the scarf. Gonna give 50% to my anonymous friend. Gonna give 50% to my anonymous friend. 50% to my anonymous friend. So it's time for me to discuss the DRT, because by implementing the DRT, the debt through fusion theory, we're gonna be able to build more bridges and renew the infrastructure and pass the North American Collective Infrastructure Rebuilding Act, the North American Collective Infrastructure Rebuilding Act, the North American Collective Infrastructure Rebuilding Act. the North American Collective Infrastructure Rebuilding Act. Right from the North America, right from the North America, right from the North America, right from the North America. And we're individuals, part of a collective. That's what I need to be doing, that's what I need to be doing. That's where I need to be going. So the DRT debt refusion team, my brothers and sisters, is the only solution to the current public financial of Canada, and much for Canada-US, binational as well. But as a Canadian team, Canada, go Canada, go Canada, but the king is absent, we need that republic, Democratic Republic, North American Union. We need the DRT. Why do I make the statement that the DRT debt refusion theory is the only solution? That is the only solution to the fact that now today we pay Canadian public debt, we pay 46.5 billion in interest. We pay 46.5 billion in interest. That is the debt servicing, aka the interest, just the interest on the public debt of Canada is $46.5 billion, $46.5 billion. So there's no way out of this, paradoxically, due to me as an Asperger's, having of course studied and learned geopolitics, and I learn it every day and revise, that the theory, the DRT theory, because when you study geopolitics, you have to have some knowledge of public finances, the public financial system. So now we pay 46.5 billion. A billion is 1,000 million. A billion has 9 zeros. It's 46.5 billion. So I won't be too alarmist, but it's possible that the first days when the fiscal year changes, 2025, first days of January, 2nd of January, 3rd of January, first week of January, heading into the next month after the 2025, first week of February, first week of the beginning of the year, beginning of January even, first week of January. Possible to have a black swan event, the financial black swan event, and you see the public financial collapse of Canada, the public financial collapse of Canada, the public financial collapse of Canada, the public financial collapse of Canada. I gotta salute my fellow cyclists who, among the few who decided to go on a workout, because biking is a workout. It is my march here, So God that decided to do, and told who exercise and work out, salutation, encourage you all. The DRT is the only solution. There could be a possible black swan event in Canada. The public financial collapse of Canada might happen the first week of January. It's possible. Listen, in 2020-2021 fiscal year, the interest paid on the public debt of Canada was 20.3 billion. 20.3 billion times 2, it's 40.6. In 3 years, it more than doubled. And these numbers you can verify, check for yourself with Tiff Mackler, the governor of the Bank of Canada, with the governor of the Bank of Canada, Tiff Mackler. And my auntie resigned as Minister of Finance, but I hope that the DRT theory reaches the idea, the call to implement the debt refusion theory, reaches anti-freelance table, because that's what I put on the table, with kisses, trillions of kisses from the goddess, for kisses I got for anybody willingly loving. Pledge your allegiance to our family. The DRT, my brothers and sisters, it doubled, more than doubled, from 20.3 double. That 20.3 billion was the amount paid in 2021. Of course, due to COVID, when I had COVID, I died there in my underground room house in Temple in February, March 2020. It was like death, pestilence, and disease. I thought that was it. I thought that was my last days for me. February, March 2020. That's when I thought I was gonna die, and that's what I did die basically. And I'm being reborn now every day. And during COVID, lots of change. I changed a lot, and I accepted my neurodivergent condition known as Asperger's, which is not a mental illness. It is a neurodiverse mental condition. So back then, 2020, 2021. like a circle of gold. So it doubled, more than doubled. They're paying the interest from 20.3 billion. From 20.3 billion, it went to 46.5 billion. 46.5 billion. See my fellow cyclists there, cycling even in the snow here in Quebec. We're cycling even in the snow here in Quebec. Cycling and we dance in the snow here, Canadians, eh? We even dance in the snow, eh? We even dance in the snow, eh? Anyways, so 20.3 billion times 2 would have been 40.6. It's 46.5. There's no other way but the debt refusion theory, the DRT. So I'm going to explain it now. My DRT theory, the debt refusion theory, also includes within it the monetary integration theory. Monetary integration theory is integrated in my DRT, debt refusion theory, and the monetary integration theory is exactly the theory which was implemented in the European Union. Look at that beautiful sunset. In the European Union. So the Germans, the Italians, the French, they destroyed their own national banks. They destroyed their own national banks. They got rid of their own national banks, right? The French, the Italians, the Germans, many countries in Europe, they annulled their old currencies and they destroyed their own national central banks. They destroyed their own national central banks. So my DRT theory includes monetary integration theory, which the European Union, the Europeans implemented, and they created what's called a supranational bank. The ECB, the European Central Bank, the European Central Bank. So my DRT theory includes that theory. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt, including my $10,000 to the RBC, Royal Bank of Canada. I got $10,000 in debt to the RBC. I got $10,000 in debt to the RBC. I got $10,000 in debt to the RBC, Royal Bank of Canada. So we're going to take all the debt, public and the private debt, public and the private debt, public and the private debt, including my $10,000 to the Royal Bank of Canada. Royal Bank of Canada, the Royal Bank of Canada, the RBC, Royal Bank of Canada. I got $10,000 in debt. So we're going to take all the debt, public and the private debt, public and the private debt, public and the private debt. All that money, the public private debt of Canada, due to the fact that the United States dollar still is the currency of choice for world trade, international business, global commerce, import, export, and diplomacy. So we're going to convert all the public private Canadian debt to US dollars. Canada first, United States second, binational preferably at the same time. Then Mexico if they will, Haiti, Jamaica. Cuba is a paradox, but Cuba is part of North America. So for North America, I'm speaking, for North American countries, just like the European Union, they did in the EU, just like the European Union, they did in the European Union. For Canada first. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt, convert it to US dollars. That money is going to be the initial money supply for the creation of a new bank. That money is going to be the initial money supply for the creation of a new bank. So that all the public private debt will be the creation for a new bank. We're going to create a new currency based on the value of the US dollar called the UE. U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The universal exchange unit. U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The UE. We're going to put a 10% interest rate on it. Maximum 10% thereafter. Maximum 10%. It could be 3.33, 6.1, 9.3, 4.18, 1.56. Below 10, it will not be able to charge more than 10% interest after that. More than 10% interest after that. That's why I'm calling on my Scorpio brother, Bill Gates of the stars, astrologically Scorpio related. So Black Rock and Black Rock and Blackstone are two different financial institutions. They split in 1988, 1989, but it basically, Larry Fink is another Scorpio. He takes the public and the private That's what basically I'm hinting. It's a public, to implement the DRT debt refusion treaty, it's going to have to be public-private partnership. And my Scorpio brother Joe Biden, Scorpio brother still president until 20th of January. And I would have voted for Joe Biden. I would have voted for Joe Biden. Would have voted for Uncle Joe. But, you know, a challenging ultra boxing match on the Canadian-US border. The DRT debt refusion theory. The DRT debt refusion theory. The DRT debt refusion theory is the only solution. There's no other solution, paradoxically. Here I am, $10,000 in debt, but grateful, thankful, my rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee. I got some sweets and got some beef patties. I got a little bit of juice, a bottle of juice for the holidays, you know. And, I got a beer, small beer. I don't really drink beer, but it was donated and it's union made, and we get to get that Global Dragon Union, blah, 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 blah. We get to get the North American Collective Workers Party, the North American Collective Workers Party, the North American Collective Workers Party, you know. So that's what we need to be doing, and that's what we need to be doing with that. And we got to get that coast to coast rebuild with all that money, all the public-private debt. It's going to be the initial money supply, and we're going to create the UE, a new currency. Just like they did in the European Union decades ago, more than 25 years ago. More than 25 years ago, more than 25 years ago. And 44 weeks. In the European Union, they created the supranational bank. So we can create the North American Central Bank. The North American Central Bank. To issue the UE. U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The UE, U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The universal exchange unit. That's what money is, to buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. So we're going to create the universal exchange, set an interest rate level of 10%. With that money, we're going to be able to rebuild the mass infrastructure of North America, to build the bridges, build more hydroelectric dams here in Quebec, mass finance citizens to work out, train, exercise, do my general war integrated whole body training system, which I created to be an efficient, simple and effective workout training program system back in 2019. And of course, mass finance, citizen tourism, mass finance, citizen tourism. Citizen tourism, because me, when I crossed Canada coast to coast, I got out of being depressed and suicidal. I had like a revelation and illumination, and I started my fitness journey, lost between 80 and 93 pounds. Since it's marking 7 years, is 20 since that event in August 2017 or September 2017. In August I went to British Columbia, to the Pacific on the West Coast, and in September I went by train, a 25-hour and 44 minutes, and I'm auctioning those tickets. I'm auctioning the tickets by which I travel, and that event of course made me come out of being depressed and suicidal. That event made me come out of being depressed and suicidal, you know. So that's why mass financing tourism, mass financing Operation Northern Scorpio, mass finance with the money, the Great North American Census, a new passport, and build on the Canadian-US border the North American People's Imperial Coliseum. And with that event, meet Dragon versus Trump, and get rid of the border, get rid of the border, get rid of the border. But although I gotta say that Trump did say great state, the great state of Canada, did mention the great state of Canada. We are true, north, strong and free, but tough times for Canadians and my brothers and sisters in the USA. We got each other, and we can unite. We can create a rebirth, the North American Collective, and build 44 tunnels, 44 tunnels in case of a thermonuclear war, for the continuity of the North American civilizational complex, continuity of civilization, and channel the aggression, and build the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, build the Forgotten Goddess Temple, which I'm credited with trillions of kisses for all my North American brothers and sisters, and create the DRT. Implement the debt refusion theory, the DRT, create the UE. Implement the DRT, create the UE. Implement the DRT, debt refusion theory, create the UE. And build those 44 tunnels, inspired up by the Montreal Underground Village. That's what we need to do. It's a must. It's a pressing matter, and I'm calling all to support it, support the vision, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, which is fundamentally my call for a public-private partnership, That's what it basically is. The Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership. So create the universal exchange unit. Without money, the Yui in French is going to be the same, so there's not going to be arguing there. But you cannot argue with it because it's the point we are here today. We pay 46.5 billion interest. So we need to get the Great North American Financial, Economic, Commercial Audit and Census. The Great North American Civilization of Great Financial Audit and Census. We need to get the Great North American Civilizational Audit and Census. We need to get the Great North American Civilizational Audit and Census. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to do together. We need to get that North American civilizational complex and create the North American Citizen Integrated Defense Force, the Dragon Army, the North American Citizen Integrated Defense Force, and the DGA, the Dancing Goddess Army, the North American Integrated Dance League, the North American Integrated Dance League for securing the environment, and securing the environment and securing the environment for purpose, securing the environment, the environment for purpose and pleasure, for purpose and pleasure, for purpose and pleasure, for purpose and pleasure, for purpose and pleasure. That's all you need to do, for purpose and pleasure. Are you united? Joy, 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 I'm financially stressed, but I'm joyous. I love marching, and dancing is my favorite fitness activity and sports. And I had lots of different jobs and employments during COVID and in the past more than 7 years, but sometimes just a few months, a few weeks, because it's a lot of misunderstanding still, and many Aspies, people with Asperger's, HFA, high functioning autism. We suffer from until people understand what it is, and there's a lot of misunderstanding still surrounding it, and I'm staring a bit, staring at objects. It's because it's my favorite color, red. It's my favorite color, red. So I notice, I stare. But sometimes I stare at things, I don't even notice people, and I have to check my optometrist. I have to check with the optometrist because sometimes I'm not well a distance. So I have to check a little bit with the optometrist, to see where we're going with. So now we're gonna go all the way to the river, then switch it to that French, and because we're here in Abel Province, and that's gonna be the video for today. Encouraging all to work out, train, exercise, and we're gonna go by the side. Here we go. Now we're gonna switch it on and go towards the sunset as we go. Truckers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, those who change some diapers in the daycares, gotta send some LOV. To those cooks, butchers, bakers, and the warehouse workers, the truckers, the warehouse workers, please give them some raise, some mayonnaise, being as your workers, you can cut some checks to give them something for the holidays. Don't be so selfish. You don't need you got 7 houses, 7 cars. Just bring some joy to others with the money. That's what it is, money to buy, sell, and bring some joy to others. It's gonna bring them some joy, and a lot of people will appreciate it. I always am grateful, and I appreciate, I got that great second-hand blue. I love the blue. Red is my favorite color, but like the jacket that I wore yesterday, and my anonymous friend gave me even these pants that I'm wearing now. The hoodie I got secondhand. The jacket was also my anonymous friend, but sometimes I paid it back, and paid it back because it was a loan, interest-free loan. So I gotta give a salutation for that interest-free loan from my anonymous friend who wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any. But we gotta go now, and encouraging all to work out, train, exercise, and I gotta give a little bit of shout out for. I saw the car today from, Minnesota. So it says the motto is the state of 10,000 lakes. And I thought that we have a lot of lakes here in Quebec. Also, we have a lot of lakes here in Quebec. So I was just meditating a little bit about that and how things are going in that state and all the states here. We got also different laws. There's a little bit of cultural differences, but at the end of the day, we're North Americans. I'm Quebecer, Canadian, North Americans, and we got that coast to coast, ocean to ocean. We're in the 21st century. The king is absent. The king is absent, brothers and sisters in Canada. With the crown. The king is absent. There's absentee landlords. It's me, you, and us. And yes, I clean, I cook, I get dirty, but I get back clean. I still got a lot of cleaning to do. At some things I'm clumsy. I'm even less able. I am at some things I am myself mediocre, average, so. At some things I am myself mediocre, average, so-so. Yes, I am. In certain circumstances, myself, I am also mediocre, average, so-so. I'm great at other things. Geopolitics, 24/7 rock and roll with it. So let's sing a rock and roll here from Montreal, Labelle Province. Hey, rock and roll for the workers. Gotta give them some raise at tough times. You know what crazy that? Crazy, you gotta give me some push-ups, get that fitness lay me. You know I gotta see it. I know this is not all about the money and you know it up inside it. Ooh, gotta get some hoo-ha, some kisses and some going. Redemption, gotta get it going, gotta get it for the East, gotta get it for the North, gotta get it around America, North America, that's why we block it. Hey, when it coast to coast, you know we sing it. Coast to coast, you know we sing it. Hey, I ain't got no contract, other people making contracts. You know that I sing freely. Ooh, as I go up in the blue. That's the river that you see without water frozen light, without water frozen lights up in the sky. That's the key up in the lights that you know up in the sea, up in the seas, up in the ocean. That's the me and you, me and us. It ain't all about the money. Sometimes you gotta go a little bit crazy to survive. Gotta be a little crazy, let it loose up in the woozy, and you know up in the cockpit, up in the cockpit. Yeah, you know up in the cockpit, cockpit. That's the whole my LGBTQ is. That's another story. Now for today, the workers be it on the main scene. I gotta see it. They preparing for the strike. Labor strike picket lines. Labor strike and picket lines. Gotta sing it for the X. Gotta see it for the workers. I've been down and out about it. I've been down and out so loud. Sometimes gotta silence me about it. That's the roof up in my head. Gotta be a bit of do for the doers and the thinkers. For the cooks, gotta salute them. For the cooks, gotta salute them. For the cooks, cooking me some of that bacon. Cooking me some of that cheese with it. Double check for you. Hey, gotta get salutations. Gotta give some salutations to those flipping some burgers, cheeseburgers, hamburgers. Hey, fast food workers, give them a little check. Corporations, CEOs, give them a little check. You know, just some checks, just some bonus. Tough times. How that helicopter, chopper. Hey, you know, we gotta build some. Give me 300 helicopter choppers. Public private partnership for the collective. North American Civilisation. Give me some helicopter chopper. That's what's going north. Gotta build North American United Dragon Arm Security Service. New helicopter choppers. And here we are by the river. By the river, and that's Chateauguay over there, and that's Pont Mercier over there. We're gonna switch it to that French because we're in Labelle Province, so by the nice river here where we go. So it's always something which I gotta be meditating as I go for the river here. You know, this doesn't freeze, so it doesn't freeze, and it's about a mile to go there, all the way. Beautiful bridges, and now, of course, my mind focuses on the bridge, and of course on the bridge. To meditate on the bridge, the fact that how it could be from a defensive perspective in case of an invasion. I'll say I can't disclose too much of my total mobile defense theory. But suffice it to say, we'd have to block maybe with those big garbage collection, public sanitation trucks, aka garbage collection trucks. Thank you, garbage collectors, aka public sanitation workers. Public sanitation, we have to block 22 on each side, 22 on one side, to go and to come, you know. That's what we have to basically do about it, and that's what we have to basically do right there, you know. Right there. So that's what we have to do in terms of a position to get it on the doers, you know. So that's what we gotta be doing with that, and that's what we're gonna be doing with that, you know. So it's something which is a must. Defense security service. How about some French? Qu'est-ce que ça va? What is going on? You wanna hear that rock and roll from the dragon as I go? On the feet, you know we told. On the feet, you know we do it. For the black and white and rainbow, gotta kisses as I go. River, that's the plenty. River, that's the musky. You gotta go up in the road. So you see that, you know, up in the mo. And another go. Hey, that's we know, you know. So up in the lake. This is no lake. This is the river. This is no lake. This is the river. This is no lake. This is the river. Gotta get that attention. Hey, push-ups and the squats you heard. Push-ups and the squats you heard. Squats. Gotta be some workout. Go get the hog that torn bird. Please do not pollute. Gotta get it for the butchers. The butchers, hey, shout out to hey, factory workers, grocery store clerks, welders, electricians, plumbers, construction workers, those of course working with the senior citizens during COVID. I had a good job there. I liked it. I enjoyed working with the senior citizens, you know. I enjoy working with the senior citizens, but now the sun's shining and we gotta get it for the sun shining, and it's something which we gotta be doing now, you know, with the rocks there. And oh, please do not pollute, put it in the garbage, or you know, those have to go into recycling. Those have to do plastics and cans recycling, eh? Please. Don't leave like bottles there. We have to do a big cleaning. Don't leave bottles there. We got flora, fauna, and of course the birds are coming back soon. And there's the big river right there, you know. Look at big river, and those are the Chateauguay on the other side. And that's why we gotta get a Chateauguay. You know, that's why we gotta get a Chateauguay to do it on the XYZ and to do it on the love, you know. So it's something which we gotta do. Now I gotta switch it to that French, you know. French, because we hear Belle Province, so we gotta cap it for that French. Ready, set, hot. French now. We got Quebec. In 3, 2, 1. Et notre marche de votre second arc-en-ciel vers le coucher du soleil. Fait frais un peu aujourd'hui, le 19 décembre, jeudi. La gratitude de j'ai payé mon loyer, j'ai payé ma facture d'électricité, j'ai du café, j'ai du thé, puis s'il vous plaît, ne pas polluer ici. Ramassez les vidanges, mettez ça dans les poubelles, ça va dans le recyclage, c'est possible. Merci les travailleurs publics qui ont ramassé les poubelles pour la sanitation publique, les camionneurs, les infirmières, les bouchers dans les boucheries. Toujours je chante du rock'n'roll pour les travailleurs du collectif nord-américain, du collectif de l'Amérique du Nord, parce qu'on est québécoise, mais aussi nord-américain quand ça soit. Le coucher du soleil, je commence avec le rock'n'roll, puis avec la gratitude. Je suis en crise, je vis un stress financièrement, je suis en stress financier, mais quand même, je suis quand même joyeux, content, mais la gratitude, j'aurais bien une dinde. Je suis à mon ami anonyme a acheté la dinde pour 10$ et 44 cents, pour 10$ et 44 cents, pour 10$ et 44 cents, 10$ et 44 cents, puis acheter la dinde, puis l'achat de cette dinde, bien sûr, ça a été bien sûr quelque chose que ça a fait quelque chose de bien pour le temps de Noël, pour le temps des fêtes. Puis moi-même, j'ai quand même de la nourriture chez nous. Je suis en branche jusqu'à peut-être un couple de jours, peut-être 40 jours, peut-être pour 40 jours. Puis je suis dans le jour 13e, jour 13 sur 44 du Rite que je fais bien sûr un appel pour combattre Donald Trump. Ça fait 6 ans que je l'appelle depuis qu'il a commencé à mettre des tarifs sur l'aluminium et l'acier du canadien. C'est là vraiment que je suis rentré dans la politique parce que vous savez là, que je venais de sortir d'une dépression, mais j'étais en dépression. Je suis suicidaire avant 2017, avant août, septembre, puis en août puis en septembre, j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte. En août, je suis allé au Vancouver, en Colombie-Britannique. Puis cet événement, ça m'a fait sortir de la dépression, mais commencé à avoir un réveil. J'ai dit, wow, tellement de choses à faire, à voir tellement un gros pays, puis j'ai fondé un esprit de corps solide avec le Canada. J'ai fondé un esprit de corps solide avec le Canada. J'ai fondé un esprit de corps solide avec le Canada. J'ai fondé un esprit de corps solide avec le Canada, puis avec le Canada, avec le Québec, bien sûr, puis avec l'Amérique du Nord. Je vous considère comme famille, comme Québécoise, vous êtes ma famille, puis Canadien aussi, États-Unis aussi, puis j'envoie de l'amour, des bisous, des châteaux, des câlins. Je suis en crise financière, mais j'ai payé mon loyer. Mon loyer pour le mois de décembre est payé. J'ai une petite grotte, la grotte du dragon arc-en-ciel, où j'ai fait bien du travail indépendant mon travail en tant qu'analyste et théoricien en géopolitique indépendant depuis plus que 7 ans. Je n'ai composé des documents, écrit des protocoles, puis bien sûr, je vous fais appel à soutenir le rêve de votre dragon arc-en-ciel, qui est fondamentalement un rêve pour un partenariat public-privé à travers le Collectif de l'Amérique du Nord. À travers le Collectif de l'Amérique du Nord, je vous encourage à faire l'entraînement physique qu'en 2017, ça fait plus que 7 ans. Bien, ça fait 7 ans. Là, c'est en août puis en septembre, on est en décembre, en septembre, octobre, novembre, un petit peu plus que 7 ans, mais en 2017, voilà un peu plus que 7 ans et comme 2 mois, là, quand j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte, ben, ça m'a fait sortir de la dépression, puis j'ai aussi survécu la COVID. En 2020, février-mars, j'étais vraiment malade, là, c'était comme la mort, la pestilence, puis la maladie, c'était vraiment comme la mort, la pestilence, puis la maladie, c'était vraiment comme la mort, la pestilence, puis la maladie. Puis je dis souvent, puis c'est vrai, mais je suis mort à Notre-Dame-de-Grâce, sur l'île de Montréal, dans ma grotte de dragon arc-en-ciel, en 2020, en février-mars. J'étais en train de renaître, il n'y a rien que je veux retourner en arrière. Je veux aujourd'hui pour aujourd'hui, en vivant pour demain. J'ai de l'espoir pour demain, ou ici, qu'on a fait le grand compromis linguistique du français. C'est des temps durs. Ça a été des temps durs pendant plus que quasiment 5 ans, là, depuis que la COVID a commencé, quasiment 5 ans. Là. Puis moi, je l'ai eu en février-mars, donc ça va faire 5 ans bientôt, dans 3 mois. Là. Janvier, on est déjà le 19, ouais, dans 3 mois, ça va faire 5 ans là, que j'ai survécu la COVID, puis je marque 5 ans. Avant la COVID, en octobre-novembre, moi-même, en tant qu'analyste hétéricien indépendant en géopolitique, puis vous savez encore que j'ai l'Asperger, donc je suis autisme hautement fonctionnel, donc on a des intérêts obsessifs, mais j'aime pas utiliser cette terminologie d'obsessif, obsessif, car ces intérêts sont plus intérêts spéciaux. Parce qu'obsessif, c'est du point de vue de quelqu'un qui n'est pas neurodivergent. Parce que moi, quand j'étudie chez nous depuis 7 ans la même routine, puis la routine de l'entraînement physique, les salutations solaires, puis l'analyse, la théorie, puis la révision des événements géopolitiques, puis du 20e siècle, les éléments de géopolitique majeurs du 20e siècle, puis qui se ramassent dans le 21e siècle, puis je fais ça au cours de la journée intense, puis avec concentration, je vois pas ça comme une obsession. Tu sais, je vois ça que ça vient naturel. C'est quelque chose, les intérêts spéciaux pour les Asperger, c'est quelque chose qui s'est en dedans de nous. Tu sais, oui, on peut être intense puis concentré comme parallèlement à la géopolitique, l'entraînement physique, le sport. La danse est mon sport préféré, la danse est mon sport préféré, puis avec la danse, l'entraînement physique que je préfère le plus, c'est la danse aussi. Danser, D-A-N-S-E, conjugué dans le bécherel. Puis avec le rock'n'roll, c'est Trinité. Ces 3 intérêts, ça préoccupe avec intensité et concentration mes jours depuis bien des années, puis j'en compose quotidien. Du rock'n'roll, la coucher du soleil, la belle province, regarde, c'est beau des aigles d'eau, ça fasse. Avec les nuages, ça fait les pinceaux, le nuage, les pinceaux, les nuages, ça peinte. On va regarder les latins ensemble. Du rock'n'roll, de votre dragon arc-en-ciel. Des fois, monsieur, madame. Je me considère androgyne. Je suis pansexuel, je fais partie de la communauté LGBTQ, je suis neurodivergent, puis homme-femme, 50-50, puis ça s'appelle un pénis nigra. C'est du latin. J'y crois à des réincarnations. Malus hopa. C'est le nom latin. Puis la devise de Montréal, ben c'est du latin. La devise de Montréal, c'est du latin. Ah, celle-là est tombée. Là, elle est tombée. Je l'ai remis à sa place. Vous voyez? Tout ça, c'est les noms latins que vous pouvez voir, vous pouvez explorer. Puis la devise de Montréal, c'est Concordia Salus. La devise de Montréal, c'est Concordia Salus. La devise de Montréal, c'est Concordia Salus. Mais là, c'est en latin, c'est écrit. Tout ça, c'est en latin. Le mot original, la classification de l'Empire romain. Mais c'est pas juste l'Empire romain. On a tendance de dire la civilisation de l'ancien Rome avec l'Empire romain, mais c'était un royaume au début. Après ça, c'était une république. Pendant longtemps, c'était une république. Pendant comme 400 ans, là, c'était une république. Tu sais. On dit qu'on s'associe plus avec l'Empire romain, mais c'était une république avant. C'est l'Empire romain, est devenu... c'est Jules César, Octavien. Jules César, Octavien. C'est Octavien vraiment qui était le premier. Ben c'est Jules César, oui et non. Oui, quand même, le premier princeps. Je ne vais pas commencer dans une histoire, mais ça fait partie de la géopolitique, bien sûr, ancienne, mais moi, c'est plus la géopolitique du 20e siècle. Puis la devise de Montréal, c'est Concordia Salus. La santé, le bien-être. C'est plus traduction, c'est plus comme le bien-être. Le bien-être par l'harmonie, par le bien-être. Bien-être par l'harmonie. Puis moi, depuis comme plus que 45 jours, on essaie de travailler sur mes symptômes d'Asperger, l'autisme hautement fonctionnel. C'est car je sais pas. C'est des choses que moi, j'ai de la difficulté dans certaines choses sociales, puis des choses que je comprends pas, qu'on a de la misère, là, qu'on est moins capable dans certaines circonstances sociales. j'ai eu bien de l'emploi, même durant la COVID, puis même avant ça, mais ça n'a pas duré longtemps. Ça a duré un couple de mois par contrat, 2-3 mois, puis un couple de semaines. Puis j'ai bien adoré ça, travailler avec les aînés dans le CHSLD, mais des fois, on peut paraître offensif, direct. C'est pas parce qu'on veut offenser les gens. C'est pas parce qu'on veut offenser les gens. C'est pas parce qu'on veut être offensé. C'est parce qu'on comprend pas certaines choses. Il faut nous le dire. Il faut nous le dire. Il faut nous le dire comme directement. Puis on va essayer de faire le plus possible. On va s'excuser si je l'offense et tout ça. Tu sais, c'est des choses qu'on fait pas par exprès. C'est des choses qu'on a de la misère à comprendre. Ces choses plus de social, de ça, c'est l'Asperger's. Puis c'est pas parce qu'on veut être abrasif ou qu'on veut être offensif ou offenser les choses, c'est pas ça. Puis nous, il faut nous le demander, puis on montre la compassion, plus par l'action. C'est ça les autistes hautement fonctionnels, les Aspis, comme moi-même qui ont l'Asperger's, on va montrer la compassion par l'action. On va pas nécessairement faire la consolation verbale, tu sais. Verbal, on peut s'excuser si on dit tu m'as offensé, excuse-moi, c'était pas mon intention, tout ça, mais c'est quand même quelque chose qu'on est quand même, on peut être quand même direct, tu sais, dans certaines choses. C'est quand on est autiste, les autistes hautement fonctionnels, c'est ça, c'est une condition de neurodivergence. C'est pas une maladie mentale, bon, mais depuis on m'a diagnostiqué, ça fait comme plus que 7 ans, là, on m'a diagnostiqué, mais je l'ai refusé, j'ai dit non, j'ai pas l'Asperger, je suis pas autiste, fonctionnel, autrement fonctionnel, non, jusqu'à dans la COVID, j'ai dit oui, parce que là, il y a plusieurs personnes qui m'ont diagnostiqué, puis j'ai docteur qui m'ont diagnostiqué, puis j'ai dit, ben, c'est l'autisme hautement fonctionnel, c'est l'Asperger's. Je suis Aspi, je dois vivre avec ça, comme je vis avec mes cicatrices, comme maintenant je vis une crise financière, mais quand même avec la gratitude, parce que la civilisation, c'est un privilège. Hein? Juste avoir de l'électricité, les travailleurs de l'Hydro-Québec du 20e siècle pour avoir bâti toutes les centrales. Je pense à ça au quotidien, parce que je suis un philosophe parallèlement. Puis maintenant, je fais cette vidéo avec l'électricité, puis je vais plugger chez nous pour télécharger le téléphone intelligent pour faire cette vidéo. Fait que c'est un privilège, la civilisation, ma chère, c'est un privilège. La civilisation est un privilège. Puis il faut tout faire pour la défense, puis pour éviter maintenant le majeur point d'intérêt dans le géopolitique, c'est que Donald Trump et l'administration de Trump, ils ont dit qu'ils vont imposer 25% de tarifs sur tous les biens. Sur tous les biens, sur tous les biens. C'est un quart, ça. C'est un quart. 25%, c'est un quart, hein. C'est 25 cents pour chaque dollar. C'est énorme, là. Il faut éviter ça de tout possible. J'ai des propositions, des initiatives sur la table. Et bien sûr, en tant que philosophe, artiste, athlète, philosophe, analyste théoricien géopolitique, puis je dis ma tante Chrystia Freeland, parce que je vous considère mon oncle Legault, je ne suis pas toujours tout à fait d'accord avec certaines choses, mais à la fin du jour, je ne suis pas son ennemi. Pas son ennemi, hein, mon oncle Legault, des fois, comme je dis pour le français, mais ça prend l'effort nous-mêmes. Là. Si on ne fait pas un effort en tant qu'individu pour encourager les gens en français, mais ça prend un effort qu'on veut défendre le français. Puis il y a une manière aussi d'encourager les gens pour l'amour du français. L'amour, moi j'adore le français, j'aime ça composer des chansons en québécois, en français du Québec, mais c'est des choses qu'il faut qu'on fasse l'effort. Puis on doit encourager les gens aussi, on les encourage. S'ils font un effort en français, qu'il y ait un accent ou pas, qu'ils ne disent pas parfaitement la conjugaison, qu'ils ne se prononcent pas exactement adéquat ou de manière d'excellence en français, du niveau super, que ça soit super beau, là, ou super propre, ou super en détail, on encourage pareil. On dit, on l'encourage, tu sais. C'est comme ça qu'ils vont faire un effort double la prochaine fois. Exactement. Ben, ça prend l'individu aussi. Il faut qu'on le fasse. Nous aussi, on a quand même un devoir aussi, comme Québécois, Québécoises, pour promouvoir, puis pour défendre. Donc, promotion du français aussi, puis encourager les gens. Puis aussi, leur remercier quand ils font un effort. Remercier aussi quand ils font un effort. Merci pour avoir fait un effort en français. Merci, j'apprécie votre effort. That's all. Des fois, il faut faire ça, l'encouragement, comme dans les intérêts spéciaux des autistes vraiment fonctionnels, des autistes hautement fonctionnels, des autistes vraiment fonctionnels. Comme moi, quand j'ai commencé, comme quand j'ai commencé avec Donald Trump, un combat de boxe, mon ami anonyme m'a acheté des gants rouges. Je les ai encore, je les ai utilisés, j'ai quand même utilisé beaucoup. Je vais les utiliser jusqu'à fond, là, jusqu'au 20 janvier. Au début de l'année, ça a été de la boxe danse. Il faut qu'on trouve des solutions. Comme la boxe danse, moi, je dis qu'on crée un passeport commun. un partenariat public-privé, puis qu'on fasse un census de la population de qui est au Québec, au Canada, aux États-Unis depuis plus que 7 ans. Un census. Tu sais, faut qu'on fasse un census. Ensemble, consensus, ensemble pour un partenariat public-privé, puis un passeport commun. On standardise les biens et les produits, puis on fait l'implémentation de ma TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. Puis en 2018, c'est là que j'ai commencé à confronter puis à faire appel à Donald Trump qui me combat dans un combat de boxe fait d'acier, d'aluminium canado-états-unien, du Canada puis des États-Unis dans un aréna. Parce qu'il a imposé 10% de tarifs sur l'importation de l'aluminium puis de l'acier en 2018. C'est un événement majeur géopolitique du collectif nord-américain. Parce qu'un Québécois, je suis Québécois, Canadien, Nord-Américain. Je suis Nord-Américain, Canadien, Québécois. Moi, bien sûr, j'ai une spiritualité un peu mystique. J'y crois à des réincarnations. Des fois, dans d'autres réincarnations, j'ai été des hommes-femmes. J'ai rencontré Louis Cyr ici quand j'étais né sur l'île de Montréal. Puis dans d'autres vies, j'étais né aux États-Unis. Une fois femme, 2 fois homme après 1776. J'ai même servi dans la même armée des États-Unis, dans l'armée états-unienne, dans l'armée des États-Unis, une couple d'années, puis dans 2 guerres différentes. 156 ans à part, par exemple. Les 2 guerres, c'était éloigné en tant que temps. C'était 2 guerres différentes, 156 ans à part. 2 guerres différentes, 156 ans à part, mais dans la même armée. Il faut faire l'armée du dragon, de partenariat public-privé pour le service de sécurité du collectif nord-américain. Il faut qu'on s'intègre comme la Ligue de hockey nationale. C'est pas national, vraiment, c'est binational. C'est binational comme la Ligue de hockey féminin. C'est pas vraiment national, c'est binational. C'est ça le rêve. Hey, peinturer la fleur de lys et où en arc-en-ciel? J'aime bien le bleu. Pas grave. Prochaine, on va mettre en fleur de lys en arc-en-ciel, comme votre dragon arc-en-ciel. Puis on fait les deux ensemble, mais ça ne veut pas dire que si je fais la fleur de lys en arc-en-ciel, que je vais enlever le bleu puis le blanc. Là. Le bleu puis le blanc, ça va rester dedans. C'est ça, complémentaire. Il faut qu'on évite les tarifs qui est possible de s'en venir. Comme ma tante Chrystia Freeland a dit, les États-Unis vont poursuivre une politique économique agressive, de nationaliste. Une politique de nationaliste agressive. Une politique nationaliste agressive. En résumé, c'est ça. Imposer 25% de tarifs à un corps, c'est vraiment imposer, c'est établir une politique économique nationaliste agressive. Ma tante Chrystia Freeland a fait bien le résumé de ce qui se passe, bien plus dans le cadre plus philosophique de la géopolitique. Il faut qu'on évite ça. Il faut qu'on évite ça. Il ne faut pas qu'il y ait de nationalistes entre le Québec, le Canada, puis les États-Unis en Amérique du Nord. On constitue un collectif. On a été bien capable de faire le grand compromis linguistique pour le français. On continue à le faire. Des fois, on donne, on revient. Ben, comme ici, ça dit passage interdit. On aurait pu mettre en anglais aussi. Forbidden passage. Ça prend un effort. Puis, comme il faut éviter ça, parce que 25%, là, en 2018, Trump, puis l'administration de Trump, ils ont imposé 10% de tarifs sur l'aluminium, puis juste l'aluminium, puis l'acier. Ça aurait été bon aussi en anglais, aussi les deux ici à côté, là. Tu sais, faut qu'on fasse un effort si on veut les touristes, là. Tu sais, parce qu'on veut qu'ils viennent, qu'on bâtisse d'autres centrales, qui apprennent aussi le français, parce que si on aurait mis en anglais, mes chers, aussi, il aurait dit, c'est ça que ça dit. Il aurait dit, c'est ça, vous comprenez? Il aurait dit, c'est en anglais puis en français, ils vont voir les deux, fait qu'ils vont déjà l'avoir vu, fait qu'ils vont faire une association. C'est comme ça, je vois ça. Si on aurait mis en anglais là-dessus, puis là-dessus, vous comprenez, les Américains, mettons, qui ont été venus, nos frères et sœurs des États-Unis, des Nord-Américains comme nous, s'ils auraient vu, bien sûr, ils auraient vu que les mots écrits en anglais aussi auraient fait de l'association. Ils auraient peut-être essayé même de lire plus. Il aurait peut-être essayé même de lire, puis il aurait lu en anglais, puis en français, puis il aurait compris plus. Vous comprenez qu'est-ce que je veux dire? C'est un paradoxe, mais avoir écrit en anglais aussi sur les deux, ça aurait été bien, ça aurait été peut-être quelque chose de bénéfice commun, de mutuel. Il faut qu'on fasse l'effort. Il faut qu'on fasse l'effort, nous aussi. Il faut qu'on fasse l'effort. Si on ne le fait pas, comme là, je dois juste mettre ma ceinture un peu. Je vais juste mettre la ceinture, puis... parce que quand je suis descendu et tombé, je vends la ceinture, je vends tout ce que je porte. Ouais. Les gants, la ceinture. Là, il fait fret un peu, puis... Je dois me diriger chez nous, parce que d'ici jusqu'à chez nous, j'ai quand même un couple d'heure. Fait qu'aujourd'hui, je veux avoir quand même un couple d'heures de marche, entraînement. Fait que... ça va être quand même de marche, tu sais. De marche, tu sais. De marche. Donc, il faut faire le tout possible pour éviter, là. Éviter d'avoir ces tarifs-là. Parce que 25%, c'est énorme. Puis en 2018, c'est là que j'ai rentré dans la politique, quand j'ai commencé à changer Donald Trump. Puis je dis bien sûr qu'on construit ensemble, sur la frontière Canada-États-Unis, le Colisée du peuple impérial. Le Colisée du peuple impérial, le Colisée du peuple impérial. Sur la frontière Canada-États-Unienne. Avec le temple de la déesse oublié, le temple de la déesse oublié. Puis je crédite des milliards de bisous. Je crédite des milliards. Des milliards de bisous, c'est ça que je vais créditer là-dessus pour en faire de ça. Puis j'ai discuté bien sûr que là je commence à entraîner bien plus pour la boxe, pour combattre Donald Trump dans un combat de boxe sur la frontière Canada-États-Unienne. Combattu, construit ensemble. Puis je fais appel à tous de donner à la charité si vous êtes millionnaire, milliardaire, parce que c'est des temps difficiles pour beaucoup. Fait que moi je suis bien content, je vais avoir de la dinde que mon ami anonyme a acheté pour 10$ et 44 cents. Donc, j'ai de la nourriture, j'ai de quoi chez nous, je m'entraîne, je fais de l'exercice, puis je suis toujours ouvert pour les affaires. Puis je fais appel à tous et toutes de soutenir mon rêve. Mon rêve est fondamentalement un appel à un partenariat public-privé à travers le collectif non-américain. Puis de jouer de la défense, sécurité, service, de côte à côte, défense, sécurité, service, de côte à côte, défense, sécurité, service, de côte à côte. C'est ça qu'il faut qu'on fasse. Je sais que je suis bizarre un peu dans certaines choses, je suis neurodivergent, puis j'ai souffert, j'ai été en dépression, j'ai vécu du trauma, j'ai des cicatrices sur mon corps, tout ça. Puis je suis dragon arc-en-ciel, je fais partie de la communauté LGBTQ, j'ai fait bien des amis, là, plus que 7 ans quand je suis allé au fête, la fête de la parade, la fête de la parade, Pride Parade, hein, la parade gay, puis en étant pansexuel, je suis gay, bisexuel, je veux dire gay, bisexuel, puis bien sûr que j'ai fait beaucoup d'amis, je me suis fait des amis, mais j'ai quand même perdu ces amis-là, mais parce que je travaillais pas sur mes symptômes d'Asperger's, d'autisme, même si on me le disait que je suis autiste, hautement fonctionnel, aussi connu comme l'Asperger's, que j'ai l'Asperger's, mais ça fait que la malcompréhension des bains des gens, et ça a été un obstacle, et comme le travail aussi, mais là je suis quand même joyeux, tu sais, ça fait comme 45 mois que je travaille dessus, je sais que je suis neurodivergent, mais un bon côté, c'est que mon intérêt spécial, que les autres y appellent comme obsessif, mais c'est pas ça, c'est parce qu'on est super concentré, c'est quand je m'entraîne, les marches, c'est danse rock'n'roll, tu sais. Les marches, c'est l'entraînement physique, je fais des pompes, l'entraînement physique, puis je suis fier d'avoir créé mon propre système d'entraînement physique, je suis propre d'avoir créé mon propre système d'entraînement physique, je suis propre d'avoir créé mon propre système d'entraînement physique en 2019, en octobre, en novembre, j'avais créé mon propre système d'entraînement physique, parallèlement pour y aller exactement avec une situation de crise d'urgence géopolitique, parce que je marque 5 ans depuis que j'ai prévu la situation qui se déroule en ce moment, d'une manière généralement parlant. En 2019, je suis arrivé à la conclusion que l'humanité se dirige encore vers une conflagration internationale, soit une troisième guerre mondiale, et c'est là que j'avais fait cette conclusion, qu'en 2019, l'humanité, on se dirige encore. Puis si je puisse vous faire un petit résumé, là, parce que c'est bien en détail, puis d'autres des analyses profondes, mais un petit résumé, j'ai conclu que le dénominateur commun, une des principe, raison importante, c'est qu'à cause que bien des régions, bien des nations, des civilisations, des nations-États, ils n'ont pas été capables de régler leur conflit qui datait du 20e siècle, surtout durant la guerre froide qui a duré quasiment 45 ans, 44 ans et 9 mois, quasiment 45 ans. C'est beaucoup 45 ans quand même. C'est beaucoup 45 ans, c'est plus que 4 décennies et demie. 44 ans et 9 mois officiellement, entre 1947 et 1991. Entre mars 1947 et décembre 1991. Ça a duré beaucoup la guerre froide entre l'Est, l'Ouest, les États-Unis, puis l'Union socialiste soviétique, l'Empire soviétique, l'Union socialiste soviétique. Puis bien sûr la Russie puis l'Ukraine, c'est bien sûr la Russie puis l'Ukraine, c'était un conflit qui n'a pas été résolu parce que l'Ukraine puis la Russie était un pays avant, ils faisaient partie de l'Union socialiste soviétique. Au Moyen-Orient aussi, Israël-Palestine, Israël puis le monde arabe. Même sûr, si je me prononce avec la Chine puis le Taïwan, c'est possible qu'il y ait un conflit entre la Chine et le Taïwan. Je me rends chez nous puis je vois que la République populaire de la Chine, ils ont envahi le Taïwan. C'est possible. C'est pour ça que depuis plus que 45 mois, ils ont fait déjà 3 encerclements. Ils ont encerclé le Taïwan 3 fois. 3 fois, ils ont encerclé le Taïwan déjà. Fait que moi, c'est seulement mes initiatives, mes principes sont pour la défense de côte à côte. La défense de côte à côte. Dans le collectif nord-américain, en tant que Québécois, Québécoise, c'est juste pour la défense. C'est ça qu'il faut comprendre. Je vais discuter de la TRD maintenant. Théorie de la refusion de la dette, c'est pas l'important que je la discute, parce que c'est la seule unique solution en ce moment qui peut nous sortir d'où qu'on est rendu avec les finances publiques. Et bien sûr, c'est ça qu'il faut qu'on fasse. Et je dois saluer, je dis mon cousin et ma cousine. Moi, je suis transvagin, j'ai pas bien poussé. C'était quoi, mais juste comme ça, je dois dire, mais bravo. C'est sorti pour faire du jogging dans un temps comme ça, mais parmi les peu, bravo, faites bien, bravo, faites bien. Et bien sûr, c'est quelque chose que moi-même, je veux bien sûr saluer, puis l'encouragement à l'entraînement physique, parce que moi, c'est mon ami anonyme qui n'a pas été mon ami à cause de l'argent, parce que jeune, je n'avais pas. Qui m'a encouragé avec l'achat des gardes de boxe. Je commence encore le dragon contre Trump en 2018. En 20 ans, j'ai commencé à faire appel à Donald Trump dans un combat de boxe sur la frontière Canada-États-Unis. Mais non, aussi pour le partenariat public-privé, mes initiatives, mes protocoles, c'est pour un partenariat public-privé. Je trouve ça comme vraiment beau ici. Une beauté un peu. Comment c'est fait, là? Vous pouvez aller vous t'asseoir ici et là. Je trouve ça beau comme place. La TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, je dois vous l'expliquer parce que c'est la seule et unique solution en ce moment. Pourquoi je me prononce ainsi? C'est dû au fait qu'on paye aujourd'hui sur la dette publique canadienne 46,5 milliards, OK? 46,5 milliards d'intérêts seulement. Juste payer l'intérêt sur la dette publique, c'est 46,5 milliards. 1 milliard, c'est en 9 zéros. 1 milliard, c'est 9 zéros. 1 milliard, là, c'est 9 zéros. Fait que c'est un chiffre énorme qu'on paye en 2020-2021. C'était 20,3 milliards. 20,3 milliards, 20,3 milliards. 20,3 milliards fois 2, c'est 40,6. C'est 40,6, c'est 40,6. 20,3 fois 2, c'est 40,6. C'est rendu à 46,5. 46,5 milliards. 1 milliard, c'est en 9 zéros. C'est 46 000 millions, ça. 46 000 millions, c'est 46 000 millions, là. 20,3 fois 2, c'est 40,6. C'est 46,5 milliards. 46,5 milliards. 20,3 fois 2, c'est 40,6. C'est 46,5 milliards qu'on paye d'intérêt cette année. Fait que je ne veux pas être trop alarmiste, mais c'est urgent. C'est urgent, c'est possible, là, que dès les premiers jours de janvier, dès le 2-3 janvier même, la première semaine de janvier, c'est possible qu'il y ait un effondrement des finances publiques canadiennes. C'est possible qu'il y ait dû au montant de l'intérêt qu'on paye, c'est possible qu'il y ait un effondrement des finances publiques canadiennes. C'est possible là, qu'il y ait un effondrement des finances publiques canadiennes. Dès là, les premiers jours de janvier, quand ça change. Parce que ça a plus que doublé. C'est sûr qu'à cause de la COVID, ça a doublé. Là. Il faut dire qu'à cause des programmes qui ont été dus pour se faire dans la situation d'urgence de la COVID, puis ayant survécu la COVID, comme je l'ai dit auparavant, là, je suis mort dans ma grotte de la COVID. Je pensais que j'allais mourir, vraiment. J'étais tellement malade, je pensais que j'allais mourir. En février-mars 2020. Ça va faire 5 ans dans 3 mois. Bien. Fait que la seule solution, c'est la théorie de la refusion de la dette, la TRD. Si on est rendu à payer trop d'intérêts, c'est possible qu'il y ait un effondrement des finances publiques canadiennes. On ne pourra plus payer les sanitations publiques, les services publics. On ne pourra plus payer les services publics. Fait 46,5 milliards, là. C'est ça qu'on paye d'intérêt. L'intérêt seulement, c'est quand vous payez sur la banque. Vous pouvez vous ostiner tant que vous voulez. Il n'y a pas de solution que la TRD. Ma TRD, ça contient la théorie d'intégration monétaire. La théorie d'intégration monétaire, la théorie d'intégration monétaire, la théorie d'intégration monétaire, la théorie d'intégration monétaire. C'est aussi la théorie qui a été implémentée en Europe. C'est la théorie qui a été implémentée les Européens. La théorie d'intégration monétaire. La théorie d'intégration monétaire. C'est ça que les Européens ont fait des années 90. Ça fait plus que 25 ans et 44 semaines. Plus que 25 ans et 44 semaines. Plus que 25 ans et 44 semaines. Dans l'Europe, en Europe, la communauté européenne. Les Allemands ils ont détruit leur banque centrale. Les Italiens ont détruit leur banque centrale. Les Français ont détruit leur banque de la France. Ils ont détruit leur banque centrale nationale. Ils ont détruit leur banque centrale nationale. Ils ont détruit leur banque centrale nationale. Ils ont fait la création d'une nouvelle banque commune. La Banque centrale européenne. Ils n'ont plus de banque nationale. Et de monnaie, ils ont détruit leur monnaie comme avant. Il y avait le Deutschmark en Allemagne, le Rille en Italie, puis le franc en France. Ils n'ont plus de monnaie et de banque centrale nationale. Il y a une banque supranationale. Il y a une banque centrale supranationale, une banque centrale supranationale. La Banque centrale de l'Europe. Donc, dans ma théorie, qui s'appelle la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, TRD, T pour théorie, R, refusion, D de la dette, ça tient, c'est intégré dans ma théorie. Dans ma théorie est intégrée la théorie d'intégration monétaire, qui est la théorie financière que les Européens ils ont fait l'implémentation il y a plus que 25 ans. Pour la création de l'euro. Ils ont fait la création d'une nouvelle monnaie commune pour plusieurs pays. Ils n'ont plus de banque centrale nationale. En France, en Italie, en Allemagne, dans plusieurs pays, ils ont une banque centrale commune. Fait qu'on va faire pareil. Dans ma TRD, ça contient cette théorie. Fait que je vous l'explique le plus simplement possible. On va prendre toute la dette publique-privée. Mon 10 000 à la Banque royale du Canadien, de la RBC. J'ai 10 000 de dette. Fait qu'on va prendre ma dette, ta dette, va dette, ta dette, ma dette. Toute la dette publique-privée. Toute la dette publique-privée, toute la dette publique-privée, toute la dette publique-privée. On va ramasser ensemble toute la dette publique-privée, incluant mon 10 000 à la Banque canadienne, de côte à côte, de côte à côte, de côte à côte. Toute la dette publique-privée. Tout cet argent-là, vu que la devise des États-Unis est encore la devise de choix pour la finance du monde, le commerce externe, le commerce global, l'import-l'export, le tourisme, la devise des États-Unis, on va faire la conversion de toute la dette publique canadienne, 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 toute la dette publique privée du Canada, toute la dette publique privée du Canada, toute la dette publique privée, publique ainsi que privée du Canada. On va faire la conversion dans la devise des États-Unis. Premièrement, au Canada, il faut faire l'implémentation de ma TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette. Et deuxièmement, avec les États-Unis, principalement binational. Et après ça, bien sûr, le Mexique, Jamaïque, Haïti. Ben, Haïti, Cuba, Jamaïque font partie du collectif nord-américain, ils font partie de l'Amérique du Nord. C'est des pays nord-américains, les îles. C'est pas juste Canada, Mexique, États-Unis, États-Unis, Canada, Mexique. Canada, États-Unis, Mexique, c'est aussi Haïti, Jamaïque. Cuba, c'est un paradoxe parce qu'ils sont socialistes communistes, mais ils font partie de l'Amérique du Nord. Mais Canada, premièrement, États-Unis, en même temps, États-Unis, Canada, binational, puis s'ils veulent le Mexique et d'autres pays. Mais Canada, premièrement, États-Unis après, puis de préférence, Canada, États-Unis en même temps. La création de l'unité d'échange universel. Fait que toute la dette publique-privée, là, ça converti dans la devise des États-Unis, ça va être l'argent initial d'une nouvelle banque, l'argent en circulation d'une nouvelle banque, on va appeler la Banque centrale nord-américaine là, ou la nouvelle banque canadienne. On va créer une nouvelle monnaie, on va l'appeler l'UI. U point unité, E point échange, U point universel. U point unité, E point échange, U point universel. U point unité, un point échange, 8 points universels. Le oui, on ne s'ostinera pas en anglais, c'est pareil. La prononciation en anglais, ça va être pareil. La prononciation en anglais, ça va être pareil. Un UI, 2 UI, 3 UI. Le UI, fait que toute la dette publique-privée convertie, parce que le UI va avoir la valeur du dollar des États-Unis, on va convertir toute la dette publique-privée canadienne dans la devise du dollar des États-Unis. Dans la devise du dollar des États-Unis. Fait que tout cet argent-là, ça va créer une nouvelle monnaie, en circulation, ça va être toute la dette publique-privée. Pour la création de l'UI, unité d'échange universelle, on va mettre un taux d'intérêt de 10%. On va mettre un taux d'intérêt de 10%. Un taux d'intérêt de 10%. Ce taux d'intérêt, ça peut être en bas 3,33, 7,18, 3,33, 4,18, 1,56, 6,1, 9,3. Un taux d'intérêt maximum. Avec tout cet argent-là, on va pouvoir rebâtir l'infrastructure. Rebâtir l'infrastructure. Infrastructures, pas juste du Québec, mais du Canada, du Québec, des États-Unis, bâtir plus de centrales de l'Hydro-Québec, bâtir plus de centrales de l'Hydro-Québec, bâtir de centrales de l'Hydro-Québec, je dois saluer parce qu'ils joguent sur le froid, là. Go, 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 bravo, bravo, bravo. Tchac, tchac, tchac. Faites bien, faites l'entraînement physique, c'est un investissement. Depuis 7 ans, je suis embarqué depuis que j'ai sorti de ma dépression, puis depuis que j'étais suicidaire en 2017 en traverser le Canada, mais wow! Quand je vois le monde s'entraîner sur un jour comme ça, ben vous faites bien. Puis je sais qu'il fait froid, mais j'aime l'hiver, moi, j'aime l'hiver. Ça me dérange vraiment pas. Peut-être parce que j'étais québécois en 1800 et 1700, là, puis j'étais coureur de bois aussi, mais anyway, c'est la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, pour la création de l'unité d'échange universelle. L'unité d'échange universelle, l'unité d'échange universelle. La TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, c'est la seule et unique solution, la théorie de la refusion de la dette. C'est la solution, c'est un paradoxe, j'ai l'Asperger, j'ai souffert tellement à cause de ça, mais à cause que mon intérêt principal, intérêt spécial qu'on appelle, soit aussi connu comme intérêt obsessif, c'est la géopolitique. Dans la géopolitique, il faut savoir un peu les connaissances des finances publiques. Je ne suis pas un expert des finances publiques, mais ça, je peux vous en dire. Et c'est la seule et unique solution pour la création de l'UI. That's it, that's all rock and roll, mes chers. Le UI, on va pouvoir financer les gens, faire l'entraînement physique, le tourisme, bien des choses.